手がなんか手を挙げるか声かけるかしてあげてください。こちらお願いします。この辺でよろしいでしょうか。お席の方にお願いします。
Okay, thank you all for coming to the FCCJ today. Very special welcome to Governor Koike. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you have been here many times before, but this is a special occasion for us. As we come out of the COVID pandemic, Tokyo is coming back. The FCCJ is coming back and having more activities. So we understand that you want to make some remarks about Tokyo in 2023 today, and we welcome your thoughts. So we're going to begin with comments, some remarks, and then we'll open the questions. I'll begin with one or two, and then we'll open it up to the room. So if you have questions, please have them ready, and we'll come to you a little bit later. With that, please turn it to you.
Thank you very much, Peter, for introducing me, and hello everyone. It's so nice to meet you again in person after, well, 2 years. Last time I was invited here was 2 years ago, and it was the mid of COVID-19. But the situation seems to be better, and the number of positive cases, daily report is now going down quite a lot. So it's so nice to meet you again, and it's a real pleasure to have an opportunity this year to meet with international media who have a deep understanding of Tokyo. Thank you very much. And it has been, as I said, it has been almost 2 years since I have addressed you at this FCCJ in person, and I'd like to thank you for your continued efforts to date to deliver the latest information regarding COVID-19 to foreign residents in Japan. Tokyo has a 14 million population, and among this, about half million population are come from abroad, and I myself have been committed to regularly disseminating information in different languages. So just please have a look at this. Oto. Oto. Sound, please. Without sound, this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, can we get the sound working?
そこにマイクをつければいい。
I think we're getting it. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Well, one more. Hurry up. So sorry. Sometimes analog works.
They need a microphone at the computer. Okay. Sorry.
Well, this is today's most important part. No, I'm joking. So. That's all. Can you hear?
It's impressive.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, according to UN, United Nations Habitat Research, with cities already accounting for more than half of the world's population, we are fast approaching the urban age. And I have visited many foreign cities like Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, and New York recently. And just earlier this month, last week, I visited London for a trip. And my visit reconfirmed that the fact that cities share various challenges ranging from waste management and pollution, floods, droughts, and so on. So, the state of the world is becoming increasingly severe, with concerns of economic recession in the United States and Europe and many other parts of the world, and climate change issues that do not give us the luxury of time to solve them. And Japan is also facing a number of challenges, such as a decline in population that has been accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are standing at a turning point in history, and it is time for Tokyo to tackle the most difficult challenges the world has ever thrown at us and evolve into a city that creates new values. And for the next fiscal year, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government has prepared a total budget of over 16 trillion yen, the largest ever in TMG's history. Today, I would like to focus on three key topics: children, the environment, and financial potential and startups. First, I'd like to speak about children. They are our future. The number of births in Japan is continuing to decline, and now it is expected to fall below 800,000 per year. The foundation of any nation is people, and declining birth rate could lead to a drop in the strength of our nation. Since my time as a member of the Diet, I have been proactively proposing new policies to address these issues. After being elected as governor of Tokyo, that was 2016, I have accelerated my efforts to implement policies for children and women, and we can see women's progress in the Tokyo Metropolitan Assembly, where 30% members are women, a 10% increase from when I became governor. The highest ratio among prefectural assemblies is that 30% is the highest amongst 47 prefectures assembly. Incidentally, this is almost also higher than the House of Representatives, which has 10% female members, ranking 146 out of 190 national governments. It's shame. In 1946, Japan held its first post-war general election, resulting in 39 female members of the Diet, marking the beginning of women's participation in modern Japanese politics. Interestingly, these Diet members called for family planning to encourage women's greater participation in public life. Times have changed dramatically since then, and today the declining birth rate is an urgent issue for our country. While the issue of the declining birth rate is a serious issue, primarily for the national government to address, we don't have a moment to lose. Given this sense of urgency, Under the banner of Children First, we have been taking comprehensive measures to lead the nation in tackling this issue. For example, as a result of efforts to improve facilities and the recruitment and retention of staff, the number of children on daycare waiting lists has decreased from 8,500 to 300 during my tenure as governor. Moreover, for the next fiscal year, TMG has allocated approximately 1.6 trillion yen to this issue, the largest ever in Tokyo's history. In concrete terms, TMG will give a monthly benefit of 5,000 yen for children up to the age of 18 and eliminate nursery fees for a second child. We will also expand support for infertility treatment for those who wish to have children and continue to support women who choose freeze their eggs for the future. In this way, we plan to provide seamless support for children from before they are born until they reach adulthood. This includes effectively free tuition at metropolitan universities and other schools. Children are full of potential, and enriching their learning and experiences is an investment in the future of our society. Therefore, we will implement measures in various fields from the perspective of children, and we also create opportunities for young people to be exposed to foreign languages and through overseas exchange programs for metropolitan high school students and foster human resources capable of leading the world. Now, climate change. Climate change is an urgent issue that all humankind must address. The role of local city governments, which can take concrete actions, has become increasingly important. As part of our responsibilities, Tokyo aims to have greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and finally reach the goal of zero emissions by 2050. In order to realize decarbonized society, TMG will strongly promote renewable energy, the utilization of hydrogen, and the spread of ZEBs. And starting from 2025, housing developers will be required to install solar panels in newly constructed homes. With 14 million residents, as I told you, Tokyo has many rooftops, but only 4% of existing buildings are currently equipped with solar panels. This is a great potential, and we expect this program will lead to the installation of additional 1 to 2 million kilowatts worth of new solar panels in Tokyo by 2030. Targeting newly built homes, we intend to take advantage of the unique characteristics of cities with limited open space. I truly believe that this initiative can be a reference for other cities, whether it be in Japan or abroad. TMG is also serious about decarbonizing automobiles by 2030. We are aiming for 100% of all new passenger vehicles sold in the city to be gasoline-free. To achieve this goal, new buildings that meet certain conditions will be required to install EV charging facilities starting in 2025. And we will also be cooperating with the organizers of Formula E you might know that this is the world most prestigious motorsport championship for electric vehicles, to ensure that the Tokyo event in the spring of 2024 can provide momentum to the spread of sales. Hydrogen is the key to achieving both a stable energy supply and a decarbonized society. Hydrogen excels in long-term storage can be used in a wide variety of fields. TMG will increase the number of hydrogen stations to 150 by 2030. In addition, a hydrogen supply pipeline to be installed in the redeveloped area of the former Athlete Village site from the Tokyo 2020 Games is scheduled to begin operations in 2024. Furthermore, with an eye to the future, Tokyo is considering the development of a hydrogen supply network, including pipelines for hydrogen received from overseas. Tokyo will create a model for the utilization of hydrogen in cities. In order to achieve a decarbonized society, it is also important to each one of us to take action. We are now promoting the HTT campaign to encourage energy conservation throughout the society. HTT is a Japanese acronym for Herasu, Tsukuru, Tameru, meaning save, generate, and store energy. For example, in order to reduce the electricity use for heating, we encourage people to wear warm clothing like turtlenecks, which I'm put on right now, which will call warm home and warm biz activities. Some of you remember that when I was a Minister of Environment, I started the Cool Biz campaign in 2005. Well, this initiative has been widely reported by you on overseas and has had a positive impact both in Japan and abroad, I hope. The power of finance is essential to overcoming the climate crisis and achieving sustainable growth. TMG has placed the Tokyo Green Finance Initiative, called TGFI, at the core of its global financial city Tokyo Vision 2.0, aiming to become one of the leading green finance markets in Asia. Since 2017, TMG has been leading the ESG market in Japan by issuing Tokyo Green Bonds, making it the first municipality to do so. And by the end of March next year, a total of 390 billion yen in ESG bonds will be issued. We have also supported over 50 private sector green bond issuances to date, and in the next fiscal year, we will expand the scope of this to include transition bonds, supporting the transition to decarbonized society. Furthermore, for the next fiscal budget, TMG will establish a new public-private partnership fund that will primarily invest in storage batteries, thereby ensuring support for green transportation, GX. And bringing together diverse financial players will create positive synergy. And during my recent visit to the UK, I reached an agreement with the Lord Mayor of the City of London to strengthen cooperation. And together we will work to invigorate environmental finance and the entry of British companies into Tokyo. We will also collaborate in the promotion of GX, fintech and human resource development. And we will ride the tide of the fourth industrial revolution and transform Tokyo into a center of innovation. Startups are the driving force of innovation. As important partners to realize sustainable future, TMG will provide strong support for startups. Sustainable High City Tech Tokyo, or in short, Sushi Tech Tokyo for the short, is the grand concept of our City Tech Tokyo startup event to be held later this month, February. The event will bring together about 300 foreign and domestic startups with cities, companies, and investors, accelerators from around the world to realize a sustainable society through open innovation. At the same time, we will also host GNet's Leaders Summit conference to discuss share knowledge on how to solve common challenges, as I told you in the very first part, faced by cities around the world with the participation of leaders from about 30 international cities. And we will strengthen our global partnership and achieve a sustainable society together. We look forward to your coverage of these events. So far, we have introduced Tokyo's initiative for children, the environment, and startups and finance. In order to promote these initiatives, it is of utmost importance to fully utilize the power of the people who are the source of the city's growth. And Tokyo will become a thriving city where everyone respects one another. Please keep up an eye on Tokyo's efforts to evolve into an international city that attracts talented people from Japan and around the world. Finally, please watch this video about the Tokyo Metropolitan Government to strengthen Tokyo's resilience. And yes, please have it with sound. So thank you very much for your attention. ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much for those remarks. We have a lot to talk about. You have covered a lot of ground, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions that people have here. Let me start off with one broad question about cities and the COVID pandemic. Many cities struggled as they went through the pandemic. Businesses closed, workers decided that they no longer needed to work in offices. Many of the ancillary support services were gone as people left. In the United States in particular, San Francisco was one of the hardest hit cities. Other cities also suffered. How would you assess how Tokyo has navigated through the pandemic, and what lessons have you learned about what Tokyo did compared with other services, well or poorly?
改めましてご講演誠にありがとうございました。幅広くお話しいただきました中、私からも少し広い質問から伺いたいと思っております。コロナ禍におきまして数多くのその都市が苦境に陥った状況にありました。多くのそのビジネスが閉鎖をし、またオフィスから働き手が離れ、そして複数の多くの副次的なそのサービスも 中止となってしまいました。米国の場合は特にサンフランシスコが大きな打撃を受けておりますが、他の都市も同様かと思います。その中で東京都はコロナの中コロナをどのようにくぐり抜け、そしてどのような気づきが得られ、どういった行政その他サービスにどのような変化があったかお話しいただけますでしょうか。
ありがとうございます。Please allow me to respond to your question in Japanese. コロナ3年間にわたって長い間人々の生活を苦しめて、そしてまた事業者にとっても厳しい3年間となりました。
Thank you very much for your question. If I may, I would like to respond in Japanese. 3 years of COVID, this was a long run which affected people's livelihoods and also businesses as well faced a very difficult situation.
現在は第8波が終わりかけをしているところでありますが、やはり一つ一つの波に特徴があって、それに対していかに対応するか、その度に、この変化に対応しながらここまで、たどり着くことができたのも、事業者、そして一人一人の民、また皆様方、海外から来られた皆様方、もうみんなのご協力のおかげだと感謝しています。
Currently, we are at the end of the 8th wave. Each wave has its salient features and how to address them and how to respond to the associated changes results in where we are today. And it is due to the efforts of all the businesses, the Tokyo citizens, including yourselves, those from those with an international background, all working together. I'm ever more grateful to your efforts.
この間の人々の動きを見ていますと、中には例えば軽井沢に移った人がいたり、それから自分のふるさとに戻った人もいたり、この東京から出る人口が見られた時期がありました。
Looking at people's movement or mobility in the meantime, there were people who left Tokyo to relocate to Karuizawa outside of Tokyo. Some have gone back to their home towns and prefectures. So there has been an increase. There was a time when there was an increase of people who decided to leave Tokyo.
最近の状況を見ますと、再び人々は東京に戻りつつあります。その結果として人口についてはむしろ増えつつあるという状況かと、今日は数字を持っていませんけれども、そのように報告を受けています。
The recent trend is that people are actually coming back. There's an increase, a gradual increase of population back into Tokyo. I don't have the exact numbers with me today, but that is what I hear reported to me.
ただ戻ってきても生活やそして働き方などの、考え方は明らかに変わっていると思います。例えば週に3日間事務所に出て、そしてそれ以外は家にいるといったようなパターンが定着しつつあると聞いています。
However, I also hear that even when people come back, the way they look at their lifestyles and the way they approach work are clearly different than before. Some people choose to work in the office 3 days a week and the rest staying at home. That kind of lifestyle is becoming established.
それは結果的には今後のまちづくりをどうしていくかにつながってくると思います。よってこのコロナの影響もこの後はどういう方向に進むか、そしてまたどのような社会を東京都は提供していくかなどもしっかり考えていきたいと思っています。
As a result, this is connected to the future of urban planning as well. How COVID has affected where we are heading to, and how Tokyo should create a new type of society is something that I would like to give time to think about.
そして東京の人口がまた戻りつつあるという中で、海外からの皆さんが東京に戻ってきている、もしくは東京に来られているという数字も加わっている、それが人口増につながっていると聞いています。
Again, the Tokyo population is on the increase gradually, and part of that is due to the fact that international visitors and expatriates are coming back, and that is contributing, that flow is contributing to an increase of the Tokyo population.
はい、COVID については毎週というか毎日のように分析をし、そして、その中でも東京はこの亡くなる方をいかに抑えるかということを最大の目的としまして、特に高齢者の方々がお住まいになっている、この、特別養護老人ホームなどでは一旦クラスターが起こりますと皆さん死につながりますので、そういったところに、ワクチンのバスを派遣したりお医者さんを派遣したりということで対応などいたしました。
On a weekly, practically on a daily basis, we are analyzing the COVID trends, and the largest objective of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government is to contain the mortality rate, particularly with respect to elderly care homes which require special care. Elderly citizens living in those facilities, once they experience a cluster, an outbreak, that could lead to a death. So TMG has made an effort to send vaccination buses to such facilities and also sending physicians as well.
で高齢者の方でコロナにかかった方を病院に入れますと、もともとのご病気をお持ちですので、その病院のベッドを、オキュパイする時間が非常に長くなってしまいます。よって都内に8つの高齢者のコロナ病床というのを作りまして、そこに介護の方と医療の方と両方入っていただいて対応に当たる、これが1点と、先ほど申し上げました特養などにそこをもう病院にしてしまうという考え方で対応し、結果として死亡者の率はですね、OECD の中でも最低に抑えることができました。
When an elderly citizen contracts, is affected by COVID, because they have existing symptoms, conditions as well, they're likely to be hospitalized for a long time. Taking that in mind, TMG set up 8 facilities that are dedicated to elderly citizens with COVID. Therefore, those facilities can accommodate both healthcare providers and caregivers at the same time. That's the first initiative. The second initiative is, as I spoke, converting nursing care homes, tokuyo, which requires special attention, converting them essentially into hospitals. Those are the initiatives that we took, and as a result, the mortality rate was, in the end, the lowest the lowest of all the OECD countries.
Thank you very much. And I'll open it up to questions now if people are ready with them. Please, go ahead. Isabel, why don't you start us off, and then, sorry, I'll come to you guys in just a minute. Thank you.
Isabel Reynolds, also from Bloomberg, I'm afraid. I wanted to ask, you referred right at the end of your speech to the desire to have more foreign people come and live in Tokyo. And I wondered what you had to say on the issue of how diversity will affect that. For example, the recent fuss over an aide to the Prime Minister who made discriminatory comments about same-sex couples. And whether do we need a law to allow a same-sex marriage, or do we need a law to ban discrimination against same-sex couples?
Did you say Bloomberg?
Yes, Bloomberg.
のイザベルと申します。先ほど知事の方から東京の人口が外国人の輸入によって増え、また外国人を歓迎するというご示唆がありましたけれども、多様性との関連でどのような影響があるかお話を伺いたいと思います。つい最近総理の秘書官が同性婚についての発言が問題となりましたけれども、同性婚を許すような法整備が必要なのか、そもそも同性愛者に対するサービスを禁じる法制化が必要かどうかお話お願いいたします。
はい、私は今国会ではなく、東京都の知事としてできることをやってきております。そして、これは2020オリンピック大会が開かれることで IOC の検証なども尊重して、そして、あらゆる差別を避けていくという意味で条例を作りました。それによって LGBTQ の方々が例えば都営住宅に一緒に入れる、など、これまでその世帯とみなされない、ために起こる不便、これを解消するようにすでに条例化は行っております。
I'm not a member of the DAI, and I am not currently a parliamentarian, but I'm doing what I can do as the governor of Tokyo. During the 2020 or around the time of the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, the IOC charter was taken into account and respected, given due respect, so that all kinds of discrimination will be eliminated from the city. An ordinance was established to that effect. In addition, there is now Tokyo municipal metropolitan housing, public housing available for LGBTQ couples. The inconvenience of not being considered as a single household has been removed with that ordinance.
都営住宅は家族でないと住めない。じゃあ家族は誰なんだということが問題になってくる中で、そのオーディナンス条例によって、LGBTQ の方々が一緒に住めるようにこういたしました。この後はですね、国の、法律の問題になってきます。
The Tokyo metropolitan public housing is only accommodates families. The question is who are or how do we define families? The ordinance was established to ensure that LGBTQ couples can live together. Then the rest is up to the central government's legislation.
私はよりこの LGBTQ の方々もですね、カップルとして東京で、に来られ、そしてお住まいになり活動をされることを期待をいたしておりますし、またそれ以外にも海外からお越しになる方々には夫の方の仕事に、女性がついてくる、もしくは女性の仕事に夫がついてくる、そういう場合もですね、その奥さんにも夫の方にもちゃんと仕事が、特に女性ですね、夫が東京で仕事をする際に奥さんが来られる場合も なかなかその東京で、例えば海外の方ですぐに仕事が見つかるか、そして就業日これは関係ないですね。奥さんがすぐに仕事が見つかるかというと、なかなかその分言葉であるとかいろんなことが障害になると聞いておりますが、そうやって家族が LGBTQ であれカップルであれ、そして子どもさんも学校で普通に学べる、そういう東京にしていきたいと思っておりますので、都としてできることは精一杯やっていこうと思っています。
I expect LGBTQ couples as well to move to Tokyo, and once they do live here for a while and lead an active lifestyle. Speaking of international expats moving to Tokyo, often there are wives joining their husbands. The husband is working, or vice versa. The wife is working and the husband joins her in Tokyo. So in such spousal relations, but particularly for women, it can be difficult for the female spouse to find a job right away because of various factors such as language barriers and other impediments. Whether it may be LGBTQ couples or not, I want also their children to be able to enroll in schools in Tokyo like any other regular child. In Tokyo, I intend for TMG to do its utmost best.
先ほどから申し上げている条例の件ですけれども、正式というか名称はパートナーシップ宣誓制度ということをタイトルにしておりまして、こちら昨年の11月から運用を開始しています。で、昨年の末11月から開始して12月の時点で407件の受理証明書を交付いたしました。
The ordinance I addressed, the formal name of that is the Partnership Oath System. It began operating, or it took effect in November of last year, and as of the end of last year, by the end of December, the Tokyo metropolitan government had received 407 requests for certificate issuance.
国会におりましたときはですね、この LGBTQ について、正面からそして、率直に話し合うような機会もあまりなかったように、記憶しております。それとそれに反対をする勢力が今もいると思います。それをなんとか改善してほしいなと思っております。
Back in the days when I was a parliamentarian, it seems to me, at least based on my recollection, there weren't that many opportunities to talk about LGBTQ issues in an honest and frank manner. There were opposing forces then, and they are still here today, and that should be subject to improvement, in my mind.
Thank you. Kelvin, please.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I took off the mask because we have open mask policy. أهلا وسهلا. Thank you. My Hajun Azhari, Panoramic News and Arab News Japan. First, I would like to thank your media office for the support giving us all the time. And my question is about, do you have any remarks about the earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria recently? There are many reports there suggesting that Japan can offer great help in building infrastructure that resists the earthquakes, and that Japan is the best to provide because you have good friendship with those countries. Thank you.
Maybe you have the same question?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
let me interpret up to that point. トルコ南部シリア北部で起きているトルコとシリアで起きています地震についてお伺いしたいと思いますが、インフラ耐震性能の優れたインフラ構築のする上で日本からの支援を期待する声がありますが、日本にとって友好国であるこちら両国に対してどのような対応をお考えでしょうか。
And following up on that, BBC World Turkish, Ilgin Yorulmaz. I also serve as the second vice president of FCCJ. My question is, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government has recently revised its damage assumptions when a big earthquake hits right under Tokyo, just like the one in southeastern Turkey and northwestern Syria. My question is, what's the biggest challenge for a mega city like Tokyo with 40 million residents in overcoming these damages when a big or mega earthquake hits? Thank you.
BBC ワールドトルコヨルマスで当協会の副会長もしておりますが、直下型の地震が東京を襲った場合、実際今回のトルコ南東部シリア北西部も直下型の地震でありましたが、東京のような4000万人の広くは抱えているメガ都市でどのように防災を図っていくか教えていただけます。お考えを。
まず私はトルコの方々とは本当に親しい友人関係にあります。2つトピックスがあって、1つは、これはもう40年ぐらい前になりますけれども、東京大学の地震研究所で学んでいた留学生が日本に戻ってきて、トルコの国名を使ったサービス分野について、悲しんでいたことから一緒にその産業の名前から国名を取りましょうという運動をいたしました。一言で言うとトルコ風呂という言葉なんですけれども、非常に短い間でしたけれども、今その言葉はもう消えています。待機児童という言葉も消えましたし、トルコ風呂という言葉も消えて、私は随分言葉を消しているなと思います。それが1点。もう1点が1999年に大きな地震があった際に、私はもともとが神戸の関係もありますので、阪神大震災で使われた仮設の住宅をトルコの被災地に500個送るという作業を行いました。多くの方々には喜んでいただけたかと思います。
I consider the people of Turkey to be very close friends of mine. Two topics on this. About 40 years ago, there was a student from that country studying at the University of Tokyo's Earthquake Institute. When that student came back to Japan, this person was saddened by the fact that a certain industry or certain service offered by a certain industry had the country name Turkey in it. And I mobilized efforts to ensure that the country name of Turkey would be eliminated from that special type of service. The full name of the service was Turkish bath. For a very short time, but that word disappeared. And likewise for Taikichido, children on the waiting list for daycare centers, that word disappears. So it seems that I'm in the business of eliminating certain words. Now, secondly, another earthquake that occurred in 1999, since I'm originally from Kobe, I made an effort to send 500 temporary shelters that were used during the Hanshin earthquake to Turkey. I hear that people were quite happy to receive them.
で今回の状況を見ておりましても、同じようにパンケーキもしくはミルフィーユのように重なって、建物が潰れていると、やはり日本の非常に厳しい耐震基準 これをですねより守られることは非常に命を助かることにつながる。東京の直下地震対策はもう長年進んでいます。先ほどもいくつかご覧いただいたと思いますけれども、例えば東京の道は建物の耐震基準をより厳しくするというのが第一、それから第二にとても狭い道があって、そこはですね、こう倒れていくと道が通れなくなるので、道を広げるという作業を長年やってきています。そして、私がずっと行っている電柱をなくすということを地下に埋めるということも進めてきていて、都の中心部の都道は 99% 無電柱がなくなっています。それから町会という町の組織がありますけれども、そこに対していろんなグッズを配ることを都としていろんなグッズを提供しています。例えば感震ブレーカーというんですけれども、それを次の予算が決まれば町会を通じてお配りをして、少しでも一人でも命が助かるような町づくり、ツール、人のネットワーク、この3つをベースに進めています。で、10年前の直下型地震で亡くなる方が想定されていますけれども、こういった努力が重ねられてくることによって、ちょっと数字後でお伝えしますけれども、これまで10万人程度と言われていたのは、例えば6万人とかかなり亡くなる方は抑えられるという研究結果が出ています。ハードとソフトと両方です。
With the current earthquake, buildings were flattened in a most severe way, like pancakes practically. It is important to ensure that there are stringent anti-seismic standards as deployed in Japan, because that will save lives. For a long time, the Tokyo metropolitan government has been working on responses to direct earthquakes, making sure that the buildings are earthquake-proof, anti-seismic, with stringent standards. Also, narrow roads, because narrow roads would collapse or prevent traffic when buildings collapse. For a long time, Tokyo has worked to broaden or expand the width of the roads. I have personally overseen efforts to bury utility poles underground, to make sure that they're all underground. In central Tokyo, particularly with respect to metropolitan roads, there are no 99% of the utility poles are now underground. In addition, Tokyo Metropolitan TMG is delivering supplies to local communities through Chokai community organizations. There is a plan to distribute seismic motion detection breakers once the budget is passed to local communities through community organizations. So saving lives through machizukuri, urban planning, specific tools, and people networks. There's been a forecast as to how many people are likely to die in the event of a direct hit.
Sorry, I will check it. The last estimation was 641, but will be reduced to 6,148. Sorry,
9641から6148ですね。 Once again, 10 years ago, a forecast was made to estimate the number of people who will die from a direct hit, an earthquake that would directly hit Tokyo. Initially, that estimate was 9,641 deaths, but over time, that estimate has been reduced to 6,148 people dying as a result of a direct hit earthquake. So there are research results like that. So we're working on both the hardware and the software aspects.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Peter. This is too hot.
Testing.
Peter, it's so kind of you. Koike Chiri-san, welcome to the press club. Since you are former environmental minister and you are very concerned about environmental issues, which we know all very well. And as you may know, the Japan E-commerce Committee plus concerned people about the Jingu Gaien redevelopment had a press conference, and it's very well attended. Maybe almost half of this size, because they are not as attractive as you. But their issue is from which I think it's better to give exact ordinance. 東京都の環境影響評価条例第91条は、事業者が虚偽の報告もしくは資料の提出をした場合、知事は事業者に対して必要な措置を講じるよう勧告することができると書かれています。Since you are very concerned about culture, environment, and etc., etc., are you planning to advise them to reconsider or revise their plan? Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
知事はかつて環境大臣を務められ、当然環境に対するご関心が非常に高いという、前提から次の質問を伺いますが、神宮外苑の状況について、懸念を持つ、関心を持つ市民団体がつい先週こちらで会見をしたんですが、集まった聴衆は本日の大体半分、知事のご会見ほど魅力的ではなかったからかもしれません。で、関連するその条例が、東京This part wasn't. This part wasn't. ここが日本語だったので英語に訳します。The ordinance about the ordinance. This part was in Japanese, so to interpret into English, the ordinance is titled the Tokyo Environmental Impact Assessment Ordinance. Article 91, to be exact, dictates that the governor should take measures in the event that business engages in fraudulent behavior. Since Madam Governor, you're most interested, you have concerns about, you have awareness about the culture, environment, and so on. どういうご助言をこの人たちに対してお持ちですか、計画について。
はい、環境については一つ一つの手続きを進めている。この件だけではありません。手続きというものがあります。
With respect to the environment, there are individual procedures that need to take place, and this issue is not the only one. Each and every procedure must be addressed.
そして、まず大変この興味を持っている方、一言で言うと反対をする方々、大変活発に活動される方々がおっしゃっていることもありますけれども、中でも、まずは手続きに従って今進めているところで、虚偽がどうかといったようなことについては、これ今まさにその審議会の中で検討されていることです。
There are people who have great interest in this matter, people who are opposed and people who are very active. Whatever, there are people who voice such concerns, but this issue is going through procedural steps, and fraudulent or not, though including those points, the council is currently deliberating on this matter.
そしてこれが東京都の事業というわけではありません。
This is not a Tokyo Metropolitan Initiative project.
これは明治神宮が主な事業者になっています。
The main operator business entity is the Meiji Shrine.
で明治シュラインの明治神宮が保有しているさまざまな施設をかなり古い施設などをですね、何を残し何を変えていくのかということがこれまで明治神宮をはじめとする事業者の方々の間でプランが行われてきました。
The Meiji Shrine and relevant businesses are going through a planning process to determine of all the facilities that are owned by the Meiji Shrine, and some are quite old, what should be left and what should be changed.
そしてよく質問というか間違えておられる方々は有名な絵画館が真ん中にあって、そしてその前の素敵なイチョウの並木が伐採をされるのではないかということを勘違いしている方がいらっしゃいます。
A frequent question or frequent also misunderstanding is that some people are led to believe that the ginkgo tree boulevard would be cut down around the famous art exhibition hall.
その4列のイチョウ並木の保全については万全を期すということを強く要請をいたしておりますし、そこを変更するということは聞いておりません。
Tokyo has strongly requested that all measures be taken to protect the full rows of ginkgo trees in that area, and I have not heard that there will be changes to that.
でここにちょうど今あそこに出ておりますけれども、まず木の数ですけれども、もちろんイチョウも含めてですけれども、現在1904本、これが再開発をすることによって1998本に増えるというそういう計画です。で緑の割合は 25% から 30% に増えます。
In terms of the number of trees, including the ginkgo trees, currently there are 1,904 trees. And with the redevelopment, this would actually increase to 1,998 trees. That's the plan. And green area coverage would increase from 25% to 30%.
そして非常にいろんな施設が集中しているところですが、オープンスペースが 21% から 44% に増えます。
This is an area where there is a concentration of various facilities, but in terms of the open space, after redevelopment, the area would expand from 21% to 44%.
この地域の緑はかつて明治神宮が作られ、そしてまた明治神宮外苑が作られた時に、日本中の方々が木を提供されて、それが植えられて大きくなった木がたくさんあります。
This is a region area noted for its green. When the Meiji Shrine and Gaian were built, people supplied trees from all around Japan, saplings, which grew into large trees.
そしてそうやって献上された木が今緑を明治神宮外苑の緑を作っていきますが、再開発することによってある木は植え替えたり、それからある木は木の状況によって変えられたり、また新しく木を植える、それもまた 人々によって、献上される木が植えられることによって明治神宮外苑を作った時の志が、保たれるというもので、これからまた新たな100年を作っていこうという事業とこのように報告を受けております。
The trees were in fact gifted or dedicated to the development back when the Meiji Shrine was first established. So with the redevelopment, some trees would be replanted. Others, depending on the health of the tree, may have to be substituted, or new trees will also be planted. All from trees that are sent or gifted, presented from other parts of Japan, so that the vision that came together with the establishment of the Meiji Shrine and the Gaien-mai 100 years ago will be protected and looking towards the next 100 years. That is what I hear the nature of this project will be.
これからも、明治神宮外苑と、そしてまたそこで繰り広げられるスポーツ、またいろいろライティングなどプロジェクションマッピングの、会場にもなっています。これからも都民に愛される、神宮となることを期待しています。
I have hopes and expectations that the Jingu area will continue to be cherished by the Tokyo citizens. This is an area known for sports and lighting project, projection mapping events as well. So that is what the Meiji Jingu and Gaien are about.
I want to follow up on that question, and I know that your time is very short, but there's a lot of interest in this subject, and I have two related questions that have come in, one very specific and one quite general. The specific one is that there's a concern that with the new high-rise towers being close to the ginkgo trees, they're going to damage the root structure, and they're going to end up hurting those specific trees in the 4 rows that you were talking about that are so beautiful now. It's an area, obviously, that people love very much. And then the second broader question is, you laid out a goal of reaching 0 carbon emissions in 2050 for Tokyo. Will this project not work against Tokyo reaching that goal?
関連する質問、お時間の関係もあるかと思いますが、2つ申し上げますと、まず具体的な質問といたしましては、高層ビルがイチョウの木のすぐ近くに建てられますので、4列の非常に美しい、みんなに愛される景観のうち、特にイチョウに関しては、根からそのダメージを受けるのではないかという懸念があります。それについてどうお考えか。で、2つ目はより広い質問で、2050年までに東京ゼロカーボンの目標を掲げられておりますが、この構想事業というのはそれにそれに対抗する、あるいは反対する動きではないかと思われますが、いかがでしょうか。
後の方のご質問からお答えいたしますと、むしろ緑は増えます。そしてそれによってですね、緑の効果も出てくることを期待をいたしております。そしてまた最初のイチョウの木でありますけれども、今も目の前に飲食店が建っていたりして、それよりもむしろ話す形で設計がされていると聞いておりますので、しっかりと手続きを進めていくことが必要かと思っております。
Second question, to respond to the second question first, there will be more green areas after this redevelopment, and I expect that green would have a positive effect as well. About the ginkgo trees, there are already food and beverage outlets right in front of it, and with the new design, I hear that there will be more distance placed between the trees and the buildings. So I expect the project will proceed with the relevant procedures and steps taken.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today. I understand you need to leave. Thank you very much for visiting us. Thank you for taking the tough questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please invite me more.
All right, and we have an honorary membership for you. I think you are, but we have another one. Thank you. Oh, and before you leave, I'd just like to say, I'm Peter Ulstrom, president of the FCCJ, and I'd just say, So everybody knows, the Foreign Correspondents Club is open to all members. You do not need to be foreign, and you do not need to be a correspondent. If you'd like to become a member, please see them at the front desk. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。すみません、皆さんお待ちになったまま。はい。すみません、皆さん。
If everybody could please stay in their seats until Koike-san leaves. Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Sorry. Okay.